from the fuel line to here will get easily plumbed, and then this can get cut and soldered onto here. Let's do a little bit more of that later. One is on the pump side, and then one is on the other side of the tank where there is no pump. The one that's on the pump side actually was in really good condition, and no need for any refurbishment. It moves smoothly along the guides, and you can see that at the lowest level it's about 10 ohms, and as you keep on changing the level, it goes all the way up to about, I don't know, about 250 ohms. So as you slowly move, it slowly goes down, right? So, and this actually glides nice. So I'm very happy with this one. No need for a clean there. This one here, I already started to deconstruct, and this one did have issues. In fact, it wasn't reading anything at all. And the reason was because of all the gook that's on this side of the tank. A lot of this emulsified gas is on here. And as a result, it did break down some of the wiring. This is the ground wire that connects to the actual armature arm, and this all needs to be cleaned. You can see I started cleaning up some of this area here. This part actually was good, and then this part here is bad. Let me see if I can get a better view of that. I think it's actually pretty, it's probably as low as I can get. But this part here was all covered in the gook, and I haven't cleaned it yet. I actually used acetone to clean this, and this now actually works as the armature arm moves over that. But I do need to fix this ground wire, the sensor wire rather, replace it with a new one, and then clean up everything to make sure that everything just moves smoothly. Once I do that, I'll be able to verify with the ohm meter that it's actually working correctly. And then I can be done with this side of the level sensor. I can install the pump, and I can wire it up. Where's the pump? Install the pump, wire it up, and I'm good to go. All right, check it out. The fuel level sensor has been cleaned and fixed. I had to resolder a new wire that basically wraps around this guy right here, and that connects to the black wire here that then obviously completes the path to the rest of the car. But very similar construction, the way this one works is the way that this one works. I found out after cleaning everything up and resoldering the new wire, I was able to validate that the resistance levels are 260, about, let me see, 260 ohms to about, let me get a better view here, to about 10 ohms, down to 10. So if I were to cycle this guy all the way, you can see it's decreasing its resistance. And then at the very top, it ends up going down to the, the 10 to 15. I'm kind of moving a lot, so it doesn't really stay straight. But this does actively move its resistance, which is awesome. So we definitely have this fixed, which is nice. So let's get the pump installed. Okay, now it's time to get the pump installed here. So it's all nice and secure. I got to do the plumbing, and then I have to do the electrical. But what I'm going to do first is the electrical, because the plumbing comes after that. And I need to still get my new mounts. As you can see, the mounts that I had before were in really bad shape. So I need the mounts to place in here first, and then I can route the actual plumbing that goes basically right into here. So I want to do the electrical first, and that'll be really easy. I think I'm just gonna pick one and use it and make sure that I note the pin that I'm using, so that when I do apply power, I'm applying power to that correct fuel pump pin, since there were originally 2 pumps here. decided to use what's called weather pack connectors. These are really, really versatile. They're weather sealed, which obviously doesn't really matter inside of a inside of a fuel tank, but they are rated for all conditions. And this is, basically plastic and rubber seal and grommets are all part of the assembly. Really simple. This is the extractor and this is the crimper. The male pins go with the female connector and the female pins go with the male connector. So then you assemble it and you're good to go. Very, very cool, very handy to have. Okay, not bad. The bottom of the tank looks pretty good. Did a little port 15 on there. Really cleaned it up nice. Yeah, it's shiny and it's gonna end up matching the undercoating, and that's okay. The tank straps are gonna be silver. I'm painting them as well. And all the tubings are gonna be painted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish all that work. I'm gonna show you the assembled product, and then we're going to be putting the pump, the level sensors, and we're gonna be putting them back in the car, and that concludes this video. I know it's been a long one, guys, but I hope you've learned something. So now that the module is installed with the single 450 pump, the other side is just a fuel level sensor. There's also a fuel level sensor here. Let's take a quick measurement of this. Remember, the tank is completely empty. And when it's empty, you should get anywhere between 10 and 15 ohms. That means empty. Remember, full is 250 ohms, empty is 10 ohms. Now there's a 3-prong position plug here for the pumps. One is the ground, and the power is to each of these 2 pumps. However, this one here, I marked with that yellow X that it is not active because I did not use that pump. Here, this is the pump that I'm using. You can hear, well, you probably can't hear, it's very quiet actually. Don't want to run it dry for too long, but it does work when I have ground and power going to the pump. And you can also see that the other output of the other pump is plugged. I just plugged that up with a rubber stopper and put an Oetiker clamp on that. So now I have one single line going out to the fuel rail on the S85 engine. All right, the gas tank is completely done. Everything is basically plumbed, confirmed to work. And we also added these little pads here. These pads are actually factory, they're from the factory. I actually have aftermarket pads on there. And the point of the pads is when you push this up against the bottom of the underbody, it's actually not going to be a full flush fit, and the pads are there to make up for any type of misalignment or spacing between the tank mold and the underbody mold. So having the pads there is going to prevent, even when you have the straps completely tightened, it's going to prevent the rattling that's going to end up going on. So it basically makes up for those vibrations. Kind of like isolators. So we got all of our straps painted, we got our tank done, we got the underbody ready to go. Let's get this thing installed. Okay, so I wanted to go through something really quick. I was just about to connect the gas filler cap nozzle on here, and I found that there's that silver flapper in there. It actually opens and closes. It opens when gas flows through it, and then it closes when nothing is flowing through it, like it is now. I actually had to lubricate the hinges on that, and the reason is because it was actually open when I saw it, and I knew that there was something in there, but I couldn't figure out what. So I lubricated the hinge. And then I basically just articulated it back and forth a number of times, and it actually worked just fine. So now, as you can see, the flapper's closed, but when gas flows through it, it opens, and then it automatically closes back up again when nothing is flowing. I guess it's maybe to prevent backflow of gas back from the tank up into the hose. Regardless, I got that fixed. I was really a little worried about that, but I'm glad I got it. So on to the rest of the build.